In this video, we will learn the complex nested if statement through the use of easy to understand flowcharts. We will also show how complex statements can be broken down into very simple constituent parts and then can be combined back into complexity. This is a very neat trick to write complex statements. And statement is pretty simple. It says if logic test, if something is true or false, then do this. If it's false, do that. So not much to it. It's quite straightforward. I can simply say apple, and we would say if L2 is equal to apple, then say 2, otherwise 0. So you can see it says 2 because the test is met. And if the test is true, logical test, you return the value which is true. Otherwise, you return the value which is false. And if I go and say apples, we see it gives us 0 because that would be the value because L2 is not equal to apple anymore. Now, again, very, very quickly, I'll go through the AND statement. AND statement simply allows you to test multiple inputs together. For example, I'd say apple and pears. So if I say is equal to and I can say two logical tests, if L2 is equal to apple, comma, M21 is equal to pears, then we'll say it says true. If one of them isn't, then it's gonna say false. Now, key thing is in an AND statement, both conditions have to be true for it to be, both conditions have to match for it to return a true. Otherwise, it would return a false. Very important point. Please keep that in mind. And you could again very easily convert it into an OR statement, and even if one condition is true, it's gonna result a true. So please keep that in mind, and let's quickly jump into an example. So here we have names of students and marks they have achieved, and we have to give them grades. Like if the mark is less than 50, it's a fail. Between 50 and 70, it's a C grade. I should spell better. And between 70 and 90, B grade, and A grade over 90. And also what we want to do is if there is a number which is not between 0 and 100, we would want that to show it that's an input error because then that's not possible in a marking scheme. So again, just to contextualize it, what we want to do is I've given these as a flow chart, all the conditions we want to fulfill as part of this exercise. So when we start, the first thing we need to check is, are the marks less than 50? If they're less than 50, then we return a fail or an F. So let's do that. So grade F, but I'm gonna go very quickly. So if marks are less than 50, and I'm going to freeze this cell with these dollar signs here so that I can copy it across, then return F, otherwise return a blank. So you can see it's returned an F wherever we have met the statement. I'm gonna just quickly do a conditional format here so we can visualize it better. Right, so pretty straightforward an if statement. Now let's go to the second part where grade C we need to rank. So now that if it's true, it returns an F, which is the case in the first one, but in the second one, it's not true. So if we wanted to write a nested if, which is the nested if is the main point, I want you to master nested if after this quick video. So if it is false, if the marks are more than 50, then the next logical check is, are the marks greater than 50, equal to, again I can't spell, greater, equal to or greater than 50 and less than 70. If that is the case, return C. Please note, and. So we are going to test two conditions here, very similar to this example which we discussed about an and. So let's do that very quickly. So I'm going to select this one first, which comes neatly in this example, and I'm just going to write an and first. And in this statement, I say if marks are greater than and equal to 50 and less than 70. If I just write an and, okay, I made a mistake somewhere. Yes, because I have missed out the marks completely in the second one. Right. So it is true because it's more than 50, less than 70, and it won't be true because the marks are less than 50. But I can now just wrap this as a logical statement. I can just make this as the logical statement of an if statement. So I can just simply go if, so this is now my logic test, and then I say if this is true, return a C, otherwise return a blank. And boom, done. Very simple. Now I do the conditional format again just so it helps with visualization. I always want to do that. And here we go, C, boom, done. Now let's quickly go to B and A. Again, very simple process. If, and I'm going to write it together, and marks are greater than and equal to 70, freeze the cells, or the marks are less than 90, freeze this, close the brackets, normal logic test done, then return a B, otherwise return a blank. And, oh no, not that far. And done. I'm gonna again do conditional formatting, highlight rules, contains value, B, done. Now again the same if and if the marks are greater than and equal to 90, freeze the cell, or the marks are, now in this case the other one is less, marks are equal to, sorry, less than or equal to 100, freeze again, then return an A, otherwise return a blank. So again, let's do this. Not a very good score, only one person in the class has achieved an A grade. Highlight, contains text, A. Right, all done. Everything up to here is box standard. Now, let's look at this example again, Now we've gone up to this point, but the question now is, are the marks less than 0 or greater than 100? Now the focus here is an OR statement. So if there's an OR statement, then either conditions can be true. So we can't use an AND here because it would give a false flag. Therefore, we have to use an OR. So let's do if OR marks are less than a 0 and the marks are great and the marks are greater than 100, then return input error, otherwise return a blank. Now we copy this. There is no error in here. Let me just do a conditional format, text containing input error. Now all of these marks are not breaching that condition in this cell. So if I make this 106, you see we get an input error. So you can see the logic is working. Now The final bit of this video is how do I convert it into a single formulae. I would not recommend doing that, but in some cases you may need to do that. So now what we can do is in some cases we may need to do it. So what we can do here is we can combine all the statements. So I'm going to show you a very neat trick. Copy your first formulae and add it in here. It returns an F. Now copy your C formulae, the whole thing here without the equal to. Copy this, go back into this cell, and where you had these blanks, just replace it in here. And keep doing that until you get to the last statement. You'll see it's gonna work very well. I'm copying the whole statement other than the equal to and replacing the blanks I have put in, and you can see it works. It works in all scenarios. Here we go. Right now, so we have copied all of these. I can just simply drag this across. It would work in all cases. Now, let's say I change the marks to 105. You can see I get the input error. So this is dynamically working perfectly. However, this is not a professional way. You may want to do this, but I would not recommend this as a practice. I would much rather you would copy across all of these workings to this side, and I would recommend keeping these workings because these workings show you why you are getting this final result. And I'll just probably do something like this, and I have the grades. I'll do something like this, and what that means is it keeps your logic very clean. It is the way to program with Excel, uh, and it avoids errors. Most important, it avoids errors. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope the logic was clear. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe the channel.